Hey guys, this is Katie Dozier and Colin Moshman for CardsChat.com, and today we're continuing on with our course, Become a Winning Poker Player in 30 Days.
That's right, and the topic of day 24 is the mental game. So Katie, let me ask you, have you ever done something crazy on tilt, like throw your mouse at a computer monitor?
Well, once when I was playing online, I was eating an entire pie, and I took that pie when I took a bad beat, and I threw it at our big screen TV and broke it.
I find that story very difficult to believe. Will you swear to me that actually happened?
All right, it didn't, but I liked the pie aspect. That was the
Pie
good part.
is pretty sweet. So you don't tilt, right? You're above that. You're a very even-keeled person.
No, I definitely tilt. I just try to keep from breaking things. I would say as a rule because, too, I've known people who have, and then you never forget once you've learned that about them and kind of like secretly judge them. But I know you have your tell that things aren't going well.
What's that?
Well, you guys may not know this, but Colin and I play in different rooms, and occasionally, when we're both grinding, I'll hear a mouse errantly kind of slam down on the desk, and I'll know that Colin's session, unfortunately, is not going the best. You play aggressively with your mouse.
Apparently. Well, I'm going to have to watch out for that. But let's talk today about how to avoid tilt. And first, we need to talk about the language, which is the different game grades. So your A game is not going to be like how well you're playing in a vacuum. It's how well you can play relative to your best possible game. So B game, you're making some mistakes. C game, you're playing much worse. You know, come to think of it, Katie, have you ever heard of a D game or an F game?
I think when you're playing that level of game, you're not having this conversation where you're trying to grade yourself because it's just not something you're thinking about if you're just playing terribly. So not quite, but I think, you know, these are all game levels I've played in my time, that's for sure.
All right, fair enough. And let's talk about what our goals are, which is that you want to be playing your A game the vast majority of the time. We'll talk about spots where your B game is acceptable. But the most important thing is consistency. Let's say, for example, that I'm the best player in the world. Are you following me?
This is a hypothetical example, just to be clear, right?
Yes. But
Okay.
I have a problem, right? Sometimes I go on massive tilt. I play far from my A game, whereas you are consistently grinding away. You're always on your A game. Even if you don't have the absolute top skills that I do, you can win more money at poker, and you can be the better player through consistency.
Well, maybe that explains why I have won more money than you poker at various points. It's a really good thing to keep in mind, though. Really, it is with somebody who you could be hypothetically the best, but that really doesn't matter if, say, you know, putting out an ante tilts you. That's going to be a problem. You have to strive for this.
Right, and like we talk about in the book, there's so many different things that can come up when you're playing. You can be exhausted, you can have a relationship problem, you can have anything going on, internet problems, so it's really important to stay focused. And key mental game concepts, one of them is verbalize the thought process, and that's just saying whatever is going on. So you say, I'm getting 2-to-1 odds, I've got a straight draw, these odds are not good enough. Say it out loud if you have to. I mean, I don't know, okay, do you think your roommates would judge you?
Well, I think that, considering you're my roommate, that you would probably judge that this was a good thing, given that this was advice you gave me very early on when I started really playing full time. And I was playing these super turbo, super swinging games where, you know, at the end of a session, you know, I'm kind of fried. I've played thousands of hands, and it can be the best thing to just go back to basics and think, why am I c-betting? You know, why am I shoving? Because I'm going to shove a range of this here, you know, and really the things you take for granted when you are playing your A game that you don't even have to really run the dialogue for, you can say them out loud when you're feeling a bit more maybe on tilt or like you might not be playing your A game, because that will get you back up.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you are near other people, you can think it, do whatever you need to do to just make sure that you're being totally clear with that. And also play tighter and more straightforward. We talked recently about unpredictable play, late 3-bets. We've talked before about multi-street bluffs. I'd say do literally none of that. That goes out the window. All you're going to do is you're going to play a straightforward game where you raise strong hands, you value bet, and that way you're going to stay out of trouble and avoid significant mistakes.
Yeah, and self-defeating play, definitely, as well as part of that, because that's something that can come into play. If you get in this mindset where you're going to lose whatever, then people just continue to gamble more and more, trying to justify it. But if you break it down to the basic stuff, play tighter, you're way less likely to do that, and you're really going to minimize your losses.
Exactly. And you know what? This isn't an example of being on your B game, because if you're playing tighter and more straightforward, that's not your A game because you're a little bit handicapped, but you're also not making big mistakes. So this is a really good time to purposefully switch to playing a solid B game.
Yeah, it's a perfect enemy the good type of scenario. Settle for good when things really aren't going well, and you'll be doing a lot better.
Yeah, it beats your F game.
Yeah, it beats
if that
your
exists.
F game.
We still have not figured out if the F game exists, but if it did, this would be better.
I played my F game when I am multi-tabling and accidentally sitting out on a table. That's F game. That's
Yes.
the F game. No chance of winning there.
That is confirmed F game. Now, what is your goal when you're tilted? Your goal is to end that session. You do not want to keep on playing tilted. So if you're probably not just going to walk away in the middle of a tournament, right?
That's F game. We just went over that.
That's a really good point. That is F game. So you've got to finish out your session if you're a tournament player. And once you do that by verbalizing the thought process and playing tighter, then just take a break. If you need an afternoon, fine, a day, a week, whatever you need to take, do that. And during that time, study, post on the Card Shed forums, regroup, and only get back into poker when you're feeling ready.
Yeah, and you'll know that you're feeling ready because you'll be re-energized. You'll be excited to play. And I really, when I'm in one of these spots, usually coming up after a downswing, what I really like to do is read hands, go on Cards Chat, interact with people, have fun. And remember, poker is a game. It should be fun.
Yes, absolutely. If you're not having fun playing poker, it's often a very good sign you need a break. And we're going to end this with the topic of Mike Caro, who's the mad genius of poker, old school tell guys, brilliant author. And he has his Genie. And you know what, Katie? I think right now I'm going to be Mike Caro's Genie. What do you say?
I'd say you're really well dressed for this because you're wearing blue face paint and a turban. So I would say you really took this role seriously.
Why did you have to tell everybody?
Did you realize they weren't going to be able to see your face?
Yep, I just watched Aladdin. Okay, it's a great movie. Okay, so I'm Mike Caro's Genie. I'll say, ooh, I am the Genie. Now, I am giving you a choice. Last year, would you like to have won $10,000 more in your winning sessions or lose $10,000 less in your down sessions?
Well, my answer would be that there's a slight spoiler in the second bullet point of this particular slide, that it is the same thing whether you limit your loss or increase your wins. And that is a good point, but I would actually like to say I mildly disagree, Genie, and have to say that I would rather actually cut out 10,000 of my losses, because as much fun as winning is, losing a big amount in a session feels to me dramatically worse. So.
Well, you just send me back into my bottle. Or is he a lamp? I think he comes out of a lamp.
Well, I think you're thinking of Christina Aguilera now, which is a whole different costume for you.
All right, well, what you're saying is exactly right. Okay, so limiting losses is great because you're going to not have as much of the pain of losing. And money is money. So anything that prevents you from losing money is identical to your long-run results in terms of the final dollar or loss figure as making more money. So super important.
Yep, that's definitely true. And money is money. You heard it here first.
Yes, money is green without a doubt. So that's going to end our mental game discussion. And thanks very much for watching. This has been Colin Moshman and Katie Dozier for CardsChat.com and the Become a Winning Poker Player in 30 Days course.